Alright, Ron. Can you clap in front of your face for me? That last
Good.
one will be great.
Michael says I don't have peas. I
You
don't
don't have peas at all.
Yeah, because in the absence of a clap, he uses a hard p sound,
Yeah.
like poop. But I don't do them. That's me.
Testing Kate's microphone.
That's Kate.
Testing.
That's Hannah. Okay. Welcome to Psychobbabble. Just like last time and all the times before that, I'm your host, Rowan, and joining me on this weird transmedia thing is Kate.
Hey.
And new to us in 2013, Hannah.
Hi.
So, in show 1, we asked if good people do good for good reasons. Today, we're asking where our sense of good comes from and how it's maintained. So, Kate, I'm going to throw to you first. Can we attribute our motivation to do good to more noble causes than biology or evolution?
I think it's kind of a false dichotomy. That's like saying, do we eat food because it's delicious or do we eat it because it's metabolically necessary? You know, they're both true. We might have noble sentiments that are genuine, but there are also good evolutionary reasons why we have those sentiments.
I think I probably tend to disagree on that. I think maybe the we do good for good reasons is a motivational overlay that we consciously put to assume why we're doing good things. I need to justify what I'm doing. But I do agree with the fact that in evolutionary terms, being altruistic has been very beneficial for us in developing a social society. I think human beings are extraordinarily interlinked and socially interdependent, and that has had a big impact on how successful we've been as a species. And I don't think that's possible without altruism.
But you don't think that altruism might be like mediated by positive, noble emotions? We feel noble sentiments and therefore we're altruistic.
Yeah, I think more that's kind of our justification for what we're doing, but probably the actual mechanism is probably a bit more innate rather than it's noble or it's directed by God or it's, you know...
Oh, yeah, of course that's an overlay.
Yeah.
There are a few ways we can actually investigate this, though, right? I mean, there's lots of studies of culture, social psychology, and philosophy. Sociologists have been studying what makes us good and how, in what forms we're good to one another for a long time. Biology has recently started to enter the fray and kind of discuss how this can happen. And I'm, as someone who's interested in evolution and these kind of biological underpinnings, we can look at groups of people who represent previous stages in our development and ontology. So we can look at like children and when they start to develop their sense of altruism, their ability to give and share and to understand these things. And we could look at our close relatives like chimps, for instance, and kind of understand what they have reflects upon what we developed and when we developed in our timeline. And there was a really great paper on this by Warnikin and Tomasello published a couple of years ago, and that had some really interesting things that reported on a few really reliable things that children do in terms of developing their sense of altruism. Yeah,
they broke it down to helping, sharing, and informing, right? These were the 3 kinds of altruism that you could display. I can, like, help you achieve some goal, you know, you drop your pen and I help you reach for it, or I can share my food with you, or I can inform you of something that you don't know but you clearly need to know, like you're looking for your keys and I tell you where they are.
I really like the helping. I just want to bring this up because that seems to emerge very early, at 14 to 18 months, so, you know, less than 1.5 years old.
Even the informing, they said that 12-month-old babies would sometimes point at something if they could see you were looking for it but couldn't find it.
Yeah, so there's some videos on YouTube that they've put up there, and there's these pictures of like a man looking for a stapler or something. They come out with bits of paper. They clearly have a goal in mind, and the infant can infer that, oh, he's trying to do X, and he kind of points while the adult's looking like an idiot looking for this thing, and the child can clearly read intention there.
Yeah. And what I found fascinating as well, they mentioned that these children were doing these behaviours in the absence of extrinsic reward. It wasn't because they were like, help me and I'll give you a lolly or something. It was these kids just wanted to help because they wanted to be helpful. And I think they were even saying they found that in some cases, extrinsic reward actually decreased the helping behaviour. So that kind of supports the idea that there's an innate quality to our helping, that we do it because we're programmed to do it, not because there's some kind of external reward for it, which is fascinating.
So in the sense that it's innate, in the sense that biology drove our evolution, drove our intentions,
there's some predisposition
goodness.
Towards being altruistic in our DNA somewhere.
It seems to be our default state, but
which is good. Makes us look better.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a lovely thing.
I think noble causes are perhaps more overlaid by culture and society. You know, that kind of directs where we put our altruism, and that's, you know, because ideas of what's noble and what's good are going to change culturally. You know, not. I mean, some are relatively similar. Like, you know, don't kill people. There are some fundamentals, I think, but again, I think a lot of those fundamentals are, you know, don't kill other people. That is beneficial to you in a social environment, not to go around slaughtering all your friends. So
Shit.
You're doing it wrong.
You could have told us that earlier.
Yeah, so I think maybe what is good is more culturally bound rather than innate, I think is what I was getting at there.
Okay, sure.
So, this is our second video, and hopefully you've already seen the first, but if you haven't, you can find it at our Indiegogo campaign site. That's indiegogo.com, search Psychobbabble, or on our website, psycho-babble.net. First, please share this video. It's easy to do, and we'd appreciate reaching the extra eyes and ears. Second, consider supporting us. We hope to raise a total of $5,000 by the 21st of Feb. Most of this money is going to go into hiring a sound technician to help make the show sound much more interesting. Like I've mentioned previously, we hope to really mix things up in 2013, take the show outside the studio sometimes, bring in guests, and introduce a kind of Radiolab, Freakonomics, This American Life kind of flavour to our show. And, of course, some of this money we hope to raise will satisfy very boring but ever-present demands like hosting and hardware. But find more details and more perks like our on-air advertising at indiegogo.com. So, Kate, Hannah, thanks for joining me on this second video thingy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone who's watching right now. Check out our previous video at Indiegogo or at our website, or any of our nearly 50 previous shows. This video is, of course, abridged, and you can find the full episode on altruism at our website, as well as forums, media, and past episodes. Our next video and podcast is in 2 weeks' time. Until then. You're not going to get me saying something stupid at the end this time.
That's cool.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Figure it out. Chop and change.